Y'all? It's your boy, the host, Sports Talk49, here talking about some controversial conversations, some fun conversations. I'm here with my man, Jamal JayBuc Sanders. As you see on here, the theme, a man that needs no introduction because he's everywhere and does a whole bunch, of stuff for the team, give perspectives on what it's like going to away games. He just does a whole lot. And we're going to talk about some fun conversations and just roll into it from there. And we're just going to banter back and forth. And that's pretty much how today is going to go. Jamal, what's going on?
What's up with you, Blade? What's up, Buck Nation? You already know it's your boy JayBuc coming to you by any means necessary. And you already know it's a Bucks life. Fire them cannons, horse the flags. Hey, you all know. I actually hold on. I was about to say something incorrect. You all know on my page, I hate going live, but anytime where I get to link up with my brother Blake Anthony, it's always a beautiful thing for me. So Blake, I just want to say thank you for having me. I'm one of your top supporters. So again, I love chopping it up with you. I have my 5-6 individuals. I can talk Buck football all day, every day, and my boy Blake, he's one of them. So again, thank you for having me, man. It's always an honor.
The honor's mine, man. You're the hero to me. I'm just a guy that jumps on the internet, man.
I don't feel comfortable taking that honor. I look at it like this, man. Look, I'm one of thousands of Buck fans. And I'm just in a position where I'm blessed to support this team in ways beyond imagine. But my thing is what it is that I do as a fan that will never negate what thousands of Buck fans do for this organization. I'm just one of many, so it doesn't negate all of what you do, all of what others do, and the unique thing about fandom, and I want to say, as a kid growing up as a Buck fan, growing up being raised in that 14 straight double digit losing seasons,
horrible.
Just being that hopeful fan that one day the Bucks would turn it around. But it was in, I want to say 2013, 2014 when I connected one of my mentors, and she and many others have redefined what fandom is. And for me, I just thought, hey, we go rep the Bucks, whether we watching it on TV, whether we in the stands, and that's it. It was around 2000, I would say 2013 going to 2014, where I started just to see how individuals use their fandom, to bring awareness to the organization. For some people it's traveling, for some people it's media, it's podcasts, for some individuals it's community services, tailgating, so I just respect our fan base as a whole in things that people have they've used their fandom their platform to support this team. So again, I say all of that to say, I'm just one of many. So for every one of me, I can point out 5 others that it do just as much, as not more, for the fan base, including you, Blake. So shouts out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneer fan base, but at the same time, we're gonna have to have some hardcore, some truth, some conversations, which I'm sure we go get into in a few minutes. Yeah,
Absolutely. So let's just start from the top. Bowles stays on, fires pretty much everybody, but I think Larry Foote and the linebacker crew. What is your thoughts on that?
Hey, one thing about it, 2 things for sure. I'm gonna have to stand in. I'm gonna have to stand in on this one. I have to stand in it, and I'll start from here. When Bowles was initially hired, many of you knew that I wasn't on board with it initially, because the type of team that we had. Again, I'm piggybacking off of the 2021 season. I in my mind, I think a lot of attention was being brought to Byron Leftwich at that time, and I was in the mind frame of I felt as though that our team would benefit from an offensive minded head coach. So initially I wasn't on board with Bowles being hired. So I got to stand in, I got to stand on that. As time progressed, I know there's many mixed feelings about the 2022 season. Me personally, my opinion, I'm not going to say that I didn't hold that season in particular. I didn't hold Bowles accountable for that season, but with the salary cap, when he was brought in or when he was announced as the head coach, I kind of, Tom Brady, going through what it is that he was going through at that time, I kind of gave him a little leeway. Around 2023, I started to understand how Bowles, how he wanted to win, his philosophy, as far as, over the team, so at that point, I started to buy in to some degree. I'm not gonna say a little bit, I'm not gonna say whatever a lot, but I started to buy in at that point. And I try to be fair, I try to be as neutral as possible. I know sometimes there's some sayers that feels as though that as fans, our feelings come into play when we make certain assessments or give certain opinions when it comes to the team. And I can understand both ends of the spectrum, but at least with me, I try to be consistent as much as possible. I can love a player, but if a player is having a bad game, I will hold that player just as accountable as a player that I might not be too fond of. As a player that I'm not too fond of, if he's having a good game or if I feel it.
Yes, absolutely.
I know these individuals see that I'm on live, and all of a sudden they want to call. I lost my train of thought. But even if it's a play, despite how I feel about a player, his play on the field or off the field, I try to be consistent as much as possible, as well as the coaching staff, as well as the front office. Point blank, period. So again, and when it comes to Bulls, as I would say in the 2023 season, 2024 season with the salary cap, once in my mind, when I understood how he wanted to win, I started to buy in a little bit. I'm gonna stand on it. In the beginning of the season, when this team was 6-2, and Bowles was getting a lot of flack, I wasn't making that connection really, whatever, didn't understand, what the flag was. But of course, we have the realist, which that's another conversation for another day. But then when we started to experience the decline, this is the reason why I was on board with Bowles being fired. To me, I believe his ceiling is with a team where in this division where that we should not be I predicted this team to win 12 wins, and there is no reason why I feel as though we should not have gotten 12
I agree.
wins this year. It appears to me that 9 or 10, even with this team, it feels as though that this is his ceiling. And here's an example where I guess I will use to try to support that. In 2019, in my opinion, I feel as though we had a fairly decent team. When BA came, we know the interceptions was an issue, But when BA came, that season was a 7-9 season. But then in 2020, when we made a few tweaks, we brought in Brady, made some adjustments. Lo and behold, I didn't even predict us to win the Super Bowl this year. I really honestly thought it was going to be that 21 season when we made that leap. But lo and behold, things worked in our favor. We'll end up winning the Super Bowl 2020 season. And the ceiling was high, or the possibility for us to repeat in 21, it was there. So my thing is, with those changes, with those necessary adjustments, the record fit the team that we had in 2020 season, 2021 season. But under Bowles, it seems though, even last year, I understand we had some injuries last year. Even with Cohen as an offensive coordinator, we had some injuries last year, and I feel as though we still should have won 11 and 12 games that year. And this year, and don't get me wrong, I am not negating the fact that we was the most injured team this year, especially so because here's the thing, even with last year we was injured, but that O-line was still intact.
Correct.
We experienced a lot of injuries at the O-line position this year, in addition to the wide receiver position. Bucket was out for a certain period of time. So again, I'm not negating the fact that we experienced injuries, but even when we had that decline, that back end, and I'm speaking specifically in regards to the loss to the Saints, the loss to Atlanta, the loss to Carolina, and the loss to Detroit. Even with the injuries, I still feel as though that our roster was better than other rosters, not only in our division. I still feel there is no excuse for that decline. So whether it was Bowles as a head coach, where it could have been BA, it could have been Tony Dungy, it could have been John Gruden. It don't matter who the coach was of this team this year. At the end of the day, you at the helm, somebody got to pay, and that's the only way. It wasn't nothing personal towards Bowles in itself. If it was any other coach, I would have felt the same way. However, here's the thing. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers brass owners, front office, made the decision to roll with him 2026. It is what it is. That's my coach. I'm not going into this season with no preconceived notions. I don't need the I told you so. I don't need none of that shit. I can cuss, right? I don't need none of that shit. My thing is figure this shit out. So my thing is, here's another thing too with fans. Like fans, we got to be careful. We can't get fixated on our perception of our delusions. This is what I mean by that. Okay, so just because you don't like Todd Bowles, you can't automatically assume that certain things are going to change based off of your feelings of how you feel about Todd Bowles. For example, Todd Bowles, the head coach, is responsible for assembling his staff. The head coach is responsible for assembling his staff. Let's make that clear. Does Jason Light might have input? Maybe. Of course, the owners or whatever. That doesn't mean that the brass or the front office don't have input. The head coach is responsible for assembling his staff. Do not go into these Buck groups or comment to my posts or even put on your own page going with this whole perception of Todd Bowles is not going to be responsible for hiring his offensive coordinator or hiring his staff on his defense. Another thing too, let's speak to this as well, because this is just as much as important. Since Todd Bowles is retained, let's not put out this perception that Todd Bowles, whatever, is dirty because he had to fire or he fired certain position staff. You already knew that was coming when he was retained. You already knew that they was gonna make changes in certain positions. Now, I do have the opinion. This is my opinion from a fan's perspective. If it was something that Rachaad, but I know we gonna get into that interview shortly. If we had to clean house to that degree, okay, maybe it might have been, best that we started fresh. Again, I'm on both ends of the spectrum, and Blake, I know we go, talk more in regards to that. But fans, come on, the 2025-2026 season ain't even over with. Yeah, we still got to get to the playoffs. Let's not go into the offseason. We already know the offseason gonna be intense as it is. Let's not add fuel to the fire. Please. Let's not continue to come up with your delusions, making up, stuff in your mind based off of your feelings. The reality is Todd Bowles is the coach for the 2026 season. We can have it. You're entitled to your opinion. Everyone is entitled to your opinion. And remember, when it comes to the fans' perspective, whether we like it or not, remember, we got to keep it into context. We got to keep it into context, because the reality is we're not in the one Buck place. We're not in
You're
these
not in those
team
meetings.
meetings.
You're not in any
Yeah,
of those.
we're not there. Like for the ones that were saying, you know, that Bowles don't show or whatever, no emotions. We don't know what the fuck Todd Bowles is saying behind closed doors. You do not know. Let's not. My thing is let's be a little bit more objective based off of the information that we have, and let's kind of venture off of this subjective. Your subjectivity, because based off how we feel or whatever, and our perception. Let's lean more towards objectives based off of what it is, you know, that we able to see. So here's somebody we able to see, but their performance based off of the field. Something ain't connecting. It's certain players that has regressed. Zion has regressed. It seems as though Winfield is stagnant. Dean has been out of position for the past 5 years. Let's start based off of that. It seems as though that the pass rush, that front seven, was better with veterans. No pass rusher has been developed under Todd Bowles. These are objectives. This ain't how we feel. I like Yaya, but it seems as though Yaya is stagnant. Antoine Winfield is 2 years removed of a season that he should have won Defensive Player of the Year. Dean or whatever, always out of Dean, always the one out of position. Or Zion, I cannot. This was a complete. I mean, let's Levante David or whatever. Look, let's base it off of. Let's be more objective with this. Let's get away from feelings, emotions, things of that nature. This include the realists. These are included the group of. I don't know if I made the roster for the. This including y'all too. Let's be a little bit more objective with this. For me, Todd Bowles only had one 10-win season, which in my opinion that should have been 11, 12-year season. This year should have been an 11, 12-year season, even with the injuries. I'm sorry. Even with the injuries, I still feel as though that this roster is a little better than Atlanta, definitely better than New Orleans, and in my opinion, I still feel in Carolina it's starting to click. I think it's starting to click a little in Carolina, but I still feel or whatever that there is no reason for us not to have been the NFC champs 5 times in a row. There's no reason for us to have been playing this past Saturday. So again, this is not based off of my feelings in regards to Todd Bowles. I like Todd Bowles personally. However, they said he the coach 2026 season, and it is what it is. That's my coach, and I'm finna ride with him, and I need for him to figure this out. Because I feel as though that we have a roster that we should be a lot more successful or should produce better than what we've produced for the back half of the season. So that's where I'm at with this whole thing with Todd Bowles.
And you said a lot of it was all, like you said, it's not emotional, it's factual. Everything you said about players, progression or regression, no development among the defensive line. You forgot to add in Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, a failed project, never worked out. You forgot, and you did
Braswell.
Braswell. Oh my God, he's the second coming of Noah Spence. He's and then what's the other guy that they drafted out of Houston? Logan Hall, another one. Never really developed. And you just watch all these games where all these teams can get to the quarterback with 4 guys on the line of scrimmage. I remember way back when Minnesota Vikings wanted to trade Danielle Hunter, I think it was for a 3rd-round pick. I screamed to the top of the lungs. I said, please go get Danielle Hunter. Here it is, 16-sack season for the Houston Texans, when they're like one of the best defenses in the league. It's just they don't want to take chances on certain guys, and and here's another part of it that you touched on a lot, especially about defense. There was no excuse that the offense shouldn't have only been able to score 7 points in the first quarter on their first drives. I said, all your stars on our offense. You have a roster loaded of stars on your offense. You spend all your picks on offense. Your defense, on the other hand, is another story. I said, but there's no excuse why you shouldn't score any points on offense. But that's why the OC's fired. And They've definitely got to. You have to fix that defensive line. Tampa Bay is known for having pass
The
rush.
front seven, linebackers too.
Front seven. Yeah, you're right. Everybody, linebackers too. Yeah, they have the Tampa has always been known for those guys up front, and they do not have them. I love him to death, but all he does is bull rush. He has no other move. I said, and Vita Vea is a freaking nose tackle in a 3-4 defense and leads your team in sacks. The defense is not made for your defensive tackle to lead your team in sacks. It is not made that way. The fact that he is showing you how good he is. I wonder how much better it would be if he had somebody else that would take some of the pressure off. Good Lord, how that would be. But you're running out of time with Vea. He's 30, if not 30 already, turning 31. You're losing time. It's so soon you'll be looking to replace him. And you've got this, like you said earlier, this offseason, you've got to hit. You've got to hit. There is no missing. You've got to hit. Regardless who's that head coach or whatever happens or whatever, you've got to hit this offseason.
It's going to have to hit not only in the offseason, it's going to have to come via, in my opinion, excluding this experiment with Hassan Reddick. I feel as though that it's going to have to come from free agency or via trade, because my thing is Bowles have not proved that he's able to develop a pass rush. The best our defense, it involves Shaq Barrett, JPP, Ndamukong Suh. So I feel it might be that we might now. Of course, I'm a Canes fan. I mean, in the perfect, I would love a Ruben Bain. However, I would roll my chances with Bowles being able to develop secondary, because my thing is, even though the players that we mentioned, the Antoine Winfields, the Jamal Deans, them two in particular, if you take it back to Carlton Davis, the reality is we won a Super Bowl with them. Reality is Bowles was able to pull some of the there were periods where Bowles was able to pull some of their best football out of them, so I would roll my chances with Bowles developing a Morrison or turning it around with Zion. I would rather let it, I would take my chances either with either trading for that pass rush or hitting free agency with it, because another thing too that was apparent with Bowles that I didn't connect with. It seems as though when we had to bring someone in, it had to be individuals that knew his defense. Me and another one of my Buck brothers, whatever, that we talk, but we damn it, but we talk damn near every day. My boy E. And E pointed out something. Even when we brought in people on the defense, we had to bring in. Last year it was Shaq. This year it was JPP. I remember at one point last year, either the year before, we brought in Ryan. It's like whenever we do need to bring in someone, it has to be someone that knows Todd Bowles defense. Yeah. So now I want to ask the question: is the defense too complicated? Like, does this need to be simplified? The interview that's not being talked about, even with Rondé Barber, like, do we not have good teachers? So these are the things, these are the questions that I'm looking to be answered, on the defensive side of the ball. But here's a reality that Buck fans do not want to admit and do not want to talk about because it don't fit their narrative. Okay, so let's remove the special teams from the equation, because again, that's a whole nother conversation in itself. I can point out to 2, possibly 3 games of how that unit cost us that game in itself. Philly, I blame special teams. Buffalo is another game that come to mind. But the unit that underperformed the most was the offense. The unit that performed. My thing is, it was already said in the offseason, what was going to help the defense was what? More points. That was the reason why your first round draft pick was Emeka Egbuka. My thing is, the unit that underperformed the most is the offense, whether you all want to admit it or not. And I understand, yes, the offense did experience some injuries, but let's be honest, the unit that underperformed the most was the offense.
You got all the stars. All your stars are on offense. All your game changers are on offense. I say that to everybody. I'd be like, how many stars the offense got? They'd be like, this, that. All right, now let's do the defense. Vita Vea, maybe Anton Winfield. That's it. Who else you relying on?
Ty Key's coming on, but
yeah,
and then my thing. Like I think, and here's the thing. And one of the reasons why this was the most disappointing things with Grizzard, because one of the reasons as why Grizzard was brought on, it was brought on for two reasons. He was brought on because of familiarity. They wanted Baker to finally have someone, where I fought tooth and nail, because my Buck fans swear they know what they was talking about. Nate Shieldhouse was interviewed last year. Go back, actually, I think we talked about it, whatever on your show. But my thing is a lot of reasons why Grizzard was brought in. One was familiarity, but he was supposed to be, whatever this grew on third down. Or he was one of the masterminds in that 2024 season of us, being rated high on converting third downs. So let alone our inability to convert the scoring is a whole nother that topic I'm finna touch on in itself. My thing is the offense couldn't convert third downs this year, and I'm not talking about third. I'm talking about third and short. Third and short. And then the times where we got lucky to convert was that was off the back of a Baker scramble ability. So we regressed drastically in third down, and we regressed drastically in points. If the offense averaged 20 points a game, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Nope.
If they average 20 points a game, I promise you that in itself would be one or two more wins. If we want to be honest, well, we wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation because we would we only on that skill, we only needed to win one or two of those games. So if the offense averaged 20 points, at least 24 points a game, we would not be having this conversation. So again, the unit that disappointed the most this year outside of special team was the offense. Nobody went into the offseason with the intentions that this defense was going to be the reason that was going to carry.
I know I didn't.
Let's be honest. Yes, and the only reason why a lot of boys, and this is another thing that we kind of got to, I feel as though that we need to kind of get out of, because a head coach, whatever unit that they coached in, it's like they get more. Once you become the head coach, you the head coach of all three phases of the game. Not just, so my thing is, what happens if he was an offensive minded coach and the defense underperformed, or if let's do this. If BA was the coach, which of course he's the offensive-minded head coach, would we be having these same narratives that we have, for Bowles? So my thing is, I don't have an issue when Buck fans, from a fan perspective, hold certain players and coaches, accountable for what's objective just based off of the performance on the field. I have no problem with that. It's these other narratives, that come, with it where I myself really don't align with. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
I've said that a lot this year. I'd be like, when you listen to group, where you watch the games, everybody, it's never the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's broken down into this. Oh, the offense, Baker Mayfield. Oh, the defense. I'm like, well, the team sucked. I'm like, why is it broken down? The team sucked as a whole. Any player will tell you that we all didn't perform the way we needed. There was plays left on the field on all phases of the game. Now, I will say, I'll give credit when credit's due. The kicker showed up all year long. I won't take that away. The punting department sucked for special teams, but the kicking department showed up this year. I'll give them credit as far as special teams. But as far as you never got a full game out of everybody. When you needed a stop for the defense, you didn't get it, or when you did, or you got a stop on the defense, your offense didn't perform. Because there was games where the defense got the ball back for the offense to win the game that they were winning earlier in the year, and they didn't. They got stuffed.
And let's be honest. Okay, so we sit here with 8 wins. The offense touched the ball again against the Patriots. That's facts. That's not subjective. That's subjective. They touched the ball. Against Atlanta, the offense touched the ball twice. That's not subjective. That's objective. Baker Mayfield missed. It was a play that come to mind. That Atlanta game the Orange Eye game, Ibuka was wide open. Baker threw the ball behind him. The offense touched the ball again. That Carolina game in Carolina, the offense touched the ball. Those are 3 games that come to mind. That the offense, the offense touched the ball. That third, and yes, I 100% blame Todd Bowles and the defense for giving up that third, whatever, in 28.
Oh God.
Or whatever the case. However, the offense, Atlanta shouldn't even got the ball back. Atlanta shouldn't have got the ball because our offense touched the ball twice on them last 2 guys. Touched the ball twice. If Baker would have completed that pass to Ibuka again, we would be having this conversation. Wide open. Wide open.
It was a touchdown.
Wide open.
Wide open.
Wide open. So my thing is, and for me, who's at the helm? Todd Bowles. So my thing is, as a fan, again, this is nothing personal, whatever, Todd Bowles, just as much as I can defend Todd Bowles, I have to stand in it. I can't, and it not just even with Todd Bowles, even with players, I can't flake out, when it
getting a phone call. No, you're right. You gotta ride with it, man. Regardless. You got to talk about it when it's good, and you got to talk about it when it's bad. And it was bad this year. It was good, and then went bad. He probably got a phone call. That's what happened. It was good, and then it went bad. And that's just how it goes.
That's a whole... My apologies, but that last thing I remember leaving off on is I can't flake. I got to be consistent. I can't flake. Just as much as I can defend Bowles, I got to hold Bowles accountable. Just as much as I can defend the player, I got to hold that player. But I have to hold that player accountable, whether I like a player, whether I not like a player. So my thing is, I have to stand 10 toes down, with my perspective when it pertains to the team, players, coaches, front office, whatever, So that's where I'm at, with this whole thing with Bowles and the state of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for this 2025-2026 season.
Yeah, you hit that right on the head. Yeah, you got to hold. There's enough accountability to go around everywhere, from Light to Bowles to Baker. All of them, they all hold responsible for a lot of good and the bad for this season. They all hold a share in that. And I will just see, you just got to go forward now. Everybody's going to harp on they're retaining them, talking about they're not coming to games and all that. I'm like, whatever. But we'll get into that when we talk about this Rachaad White interview here. So, but pretty much we covered everything with Bowles, right? There was nothing left you wanted to say.
Yeah, I think that's the I think we covered everything with Bowles.
So Bowles is your coach coming in here unless something drastically changes. So now they just had it on Loose Cannons podcast. They always have great interviews. Loose Cannons had an interview with Rachaad White. He said a lot of things. So the one me and Jamal started talking to today about was he talking about fans not coming to the games and things like that, and then talked about if you got rid of, if you were in a clean house, you just could have clean house all the way. I'm going to play the clip of what he said, and we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about some other things pertaining to that. Here we go.
Please stop letting other teams come in that home stadium, regardless if I'm not there or not, and take over that stadium like that, bro. That's just horrible. That's like, so it's like when y'all talk on Twitter and all that, we just laugh because we can't even respect some of y'all because we don't even feel like y'all real fans because y'all just let the other team come in no matter who it is. I seen a lot of Jets fans in there like, come on, man, they gonna win a game. Mm. So like, you feel me? No disrespect at that time.
I didn't see any lies detected, Jamal.
Okay. Let me go ahead and apologize in advance because my thing is the whole my goal and my whole intent in coming on your platform is you're one of the individuals on that I feel as though is well deserving of credentials, and I want to be a part of attracting more followers and listeners to your unbelievable content. But if there are some Buck fans that is not emotionally or not really receptive for what it is that I I'm about to say, then I encourage you not to listen, because my thing is, here's the thing. I have to be consistent um uh with my thoughts and feelings in regards to our fan base. Now, Grant, if the shoe fits, wear it. I encourage you all to eat the fish and spit out the bones. I also encourage you, like, my thing is, if you know for a fact that something that I'm about to say is not directed towards you in particular, then um I encourage you, not to take what I say personally. But for and for the ones who, maybe the ones that's even watching this right now, probably are the ones that not need to hear this. So, maybe I encourage you all to maybe possibly share this, to some individuals um, that may need to hear this. Now, here's another thing too. I know with this platform, I have, created, this persona that there is some positives and there's some things that people might deem negative. I know that there's some sabotage and some things, that is currently being, and that's fine. Like, it is what it is. So my thing is, try to listen to what it is that I'm about to say. I know you are familiar with my voice. I know you are familiar with my name and all of that. So let's start here. We are used to seeing things from one lens, maybe possibly two. A lot of times we see this from the lens of our thoughts, our feelings and our emotions, and we see this from the lens of us being a fan. I want us to try to see this from multiple different lenses outside of the lenses that we are accustomed to. Okay. So y'all follow me with what I'm about to say. I'm gonna do my best to make it all make sense. Okay. I'm gonna start it off by saying this. Rachaad White, not a damn lie was told. Now, for the past 4 years, I have been to every regular season and every playoff game. I think this past game I hit at 75. I promise you all, I'm not looking for no credibility or for no. I just literally enjoy going to games or just being in the NFL atmosphere. I'm not looking for no accolade, none of that. I swear to God, I'm not. I just enjoy, or I'm addicted. That's the better term. I am addicted to the NFL culture and the football atmosphere. That kind of feeds the competitive nature that I have. And going to away games is a gift, but it is also a curse. It develops this jealousy that I have for other fan bases that I can only dream, that I wish that a culture that I wish that my Buck family would adopt. Um, this year in particular, I'm not going to speak on any other years. If someone asked me this question this morning, and because of course we was reflecting back on the Rachaad White conversation, he asked me this question. He was like, "What was your favorite moments this year?" And honestly, at that time, I really didn't give it any thought. But once I sat and I really honestly did a real severe assessment of this, I can name off 5 to 7 great moments that I had this year, and not one of them was inside Bucks Raymond James Stadium. Not one of them was in Raymond James Stadium. The only thing that I can remember that I was like, "Oh my God, this is a great moment," is my homeboy Eric. We call JayBuc. My boy Eric, shouts out to Eric. Thank you for your service, and thank you to all the individuals that have served our country. But it felt good for him to have his moment and to see, with Ricky Schaefer, win, whatever a car. So outside of that, I really can't contribute to any things personally, like any moments, whatever. For me, all of these moments came away from Raymond James Stadium. For example, in with 12 in Seattle, having that moment, witnessing Baker have that exchange with the fan, and then us, pulling out that win and being in that hostile environment. It was that moment. Another moment, anytime when I go to New Orleans, now I know you all always hear me, say hashtag doodle that nation talking noise. Outside of the competitive nature, you all know I absolutely love New Orleans. I love New Orleans culture, and it's an honor and a privilege, outside of the competitive nature, it's always an honor and a privilege, to go to that city and embrace their culture and things of that nature. But anytime I can go to Caesar Superdome, aka Caesar Stupid Dome, and get a win, that's always a monumental moment for me. I can attribute, even going to the Buffalo game. Yes, we lost that game, but the experience that I had in Toronto, I can always, I can look back and I can think of 5 to 7 moments that I'm like, oh my God, like actually this is one of the best traveling years that I've had as a fan, but not one of them I can contribute to being in Raymond James Stadium this year. What I remember the most about this year, and I switched my section this year for personal reasons. Again, I was in section 122 for years, and I'm now on the opposite, near the ship, and I highly regret it. Every single game I was asked to sit down. Every single game. It just seems as though like I am jealous of the Seattle Seahawks fan base. It's just certain, and that's one of many. I can even respect Philadelphia fans outside of all that obnoxious shit that might come with it. I don't feel as though that it's necessary. I just think that it's stupid, but it's just certain things. I enjoy being in the environment, rooting for my team, and I know it's hostile. I get a kick, I get a thrill out of it every single time. And it's just when I go to Raymond James Stadium, it feels as though that this year that I just went out of obligation. Because I'm a Buck fan, and I know it's important, for me to go and support our team, because I know this negative perception that comes, with our fan base. Here's the reality.
It's cancerous.
We could do all this goddamn barking, go in on Twitter all we goddamn want. We can go on Facebook. We go back and forth all we want. Actually, here's the thing. I got one better for you. Forget me, forget Blake, forget the hardcore fans. It's a list of them. Because JayBuc not the only one that travel. JayBuc not the only one. It is a slew of fans that travel, that are season ticket holders, that come week in the every home game. Let's remove them from the equation. It's individuals who we are tight with that do not live in the Tampa Bay area. And even when they come to the stadium, they don't feel at home. Remove us from the equation. Ask them. Go on. These past few little posts that I had posted on Facebook. Go in the comments. They saying it. Let it on me. They saying it. Even when they come to visit. Anytime when someone come from Texas, and I'm finna get on them them Buckaholics. I'm finna go get on there in just a second. Anytime when anybody come to the city, it's one thing to go to a meet and greet. It's one thing to go to a tailgate. And all of these things are needed, and it is amazing. I've witnessed it firsthand. But when they come into this stadium, like, they themselves don't even feel at home. Tampa Bay, Buck, here's what I learned with Buck fans today. They gonna tell you to sit down. They're either, and it's, hey, I got to be honest. They either, I get the impression, they either in they 50s, they either in the mid 50s on up. They hot. I've heard that the state is too hot. What are some of the other things that I've heard? You hear anytime when fans do get loud, they get loud on offense. They be so quick to chant Bucky, and don't get me wrong, or whatever, shots out, whatever, the bucket is good to kind of sort of have a chant, whatever that we can kind of gravitate to when our offense,
it's rolling.
make a play. But our fans don't have the concept of you create the hostile environment on the defense. That helps the defense. They don't have that. It's just like we so uncoordinated when we come in our own stadium. They would rather make the noise. And again, I can see if they made the noise after the offense made a play. But when it comes to a play being called down, like the quieter the stadium is, that helps our offense. It's like our fans don't even have like the coordinate of what to do when they're inside of a stadium. And don't get me started. I know I'm talking about y'all that club section that can burn it. I know all them bougie individuals. I would rather move the people in the club, move them up to the suites. Move them up to the suites. For the ones that are the ones on them 50, actually the late 40s on up. If y'all hot or if it's too hot, it's not my place to say maybe you shouldn't come. I think we need to start fostering in the younger population of fans that can withstand the heat. If you hot, there's options. You can drink water. Maybe you know how they pass out them popsicles at training camp. Maybe instead of giving out these souvenirs and all that, maybe you can pass out some popsicles. I don't know. Maybe they can incorporate fans, blowing fans or something, in it. But my thing is the heat can't be an excuse every single time. Or look, I'm not the one that can tell someone what to do with their tickets. I know for the organization in itself, they go sell tickets, whether Buck fans are buying the tickets or whether away team buying the tickets. That's the reality. I know individual fans, that purchase tickets, they are entitled to do whatever they want to do with their tickets when they put to these. They can't control who get the ticket. I agree with that, but then also too, it still boils down to the culture of our fan base. It still boils down to the culture, because here's the thing. Ain't no other organization that did way more losing than the Cleveland Browns, and what you see in Raymond James Stadium, you ain't gonna see in their stadium. Nope. Ain't no other organization or whatever that lost more than the Panthers, and what you see in Raymond James Stadium, you ain't gonna see that in Carolina. And my thing is, you ain't gonna tell me what I know. Because my thing is, I done been to 28 stadiums in the NFL. The only stadium I'm missing is Chicago and Las Vegas Raiders. That's the only two stadiums or whatever I'm missing. I done been to, and the majority of the state, at least 75% of the stadium, I done been twice, been two or more times. So again, it's a gift and a curse. Like, I enjoy these away games. I get a thrill out of these away games. But my thing is, these away games is causing this disconnect with my own Buck family. My thing is, regardless, if we represent, I ain't got to. I can like you personally. I ain't got to like you personally, or you can like me personally. You don't have to like me personally. Regardless of the fact we repping the same team. Regardless of the fact, I ain't got to like you to celebrate a win with you, baby. I ain't got to like you to want the best for this team, baby. You ain't got to like me, and it's vice versa. It goes both ways. The reality is, we need a culture change when it comes to this fan base. Now, here's the thing. Now, can I take this a little further? Because I know, Blake, I know this is your platform. Can I take this, go a little deeper? Okay, let's push this further. For the culture of individuals that are older than me, this is for the culture that are older than me, that is still stuck on this whole thing of Dungy firing, let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. It's over. Dungy himself have moved on from it. Dungy is in the Bucks Ring of Honor. Dungy went on with the Indianapolis Colts and won him a Super Bowl. Let that go. Let it go. Move on. That can't be the reason as to why you're not a Buck fan or you not going. I can't go to the game. For the ones that use church as an example. Of course, I ain't the one. I ain't trying to, impede on, any about religious, look, hey, my thing is your relationship with God ain't got nothing to do with me.
Nope.
However, y'all ain't coming to the 4 o'clock games, let alone the Monday night games or any night.
Thursday
Y'all ain't
night
coming to
game.
those games neither. Y'all ain't coming to those games neither. For the ones who are still stuck on, I absolutely love, respect the legends before my time as a season ticket holder. And that's for the Derrick Brooks, the Warren Sapps, the Rondé Barbers, the John Lynches, the Simeon Rices. Hell, let's take it further. The Shelton Quarles, the Dexter Jacksons, the White Smith. The list goes on. The list goes on. It's been 20 years since they ass goddamn played. Let it go. Let's embrace our new legends.
How that song go? Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Go.
That can't be the reason.
And then
That can't be the reason as to why you're not coming to these games. It can't be like, come on. We have to change the like. My thing is all that barking we got now do on social. I'm talking about, and both of I'm talking about. We got some. It's some beasts out there that do a lot of barking. And I ain't gonna say, hey, or whatever. I bark with you. One thing about it, I can beat you 3 ways, but I ain't gonna go there. Do all that barking. All that barking. Let's take that same energy into these stadium on Sundays, sometimes Mondays.
Don't do that.
Let's take that same energy. Look, that we need to we need to reinvent or whatever this culture. Here for a thing I want to touch on Buckaholics. And the reason why I want to touch on Buckaholics is for this reason. Every time I go to a Buckaholic event, I think I remember going to Arizona. I might have been to Arizona twice. I know I've been to LA twice. I've been in LA. And I remember going in San Fran. But actually, somebody reminded me. I thought it was only one, but I actually went twice. And every time I go to a Buckaholic event, it's like it's life changing for me. It feels as though like I ain't doing enough. Like there are hardcore fans amongst that organization, let alone probably would never have the opportunity to come, let alone Raymond James Stadium, to even come to Tampa. And they represent this team in ways beyond imagine. Every time I step foot at a Buckaholic, and shouts out to Buckaholics across the globe, I will always have a certain level of respect for their organization when it comes to this fan base. It seems it's humbling, it's life-changing, and it's like they represent this team in ways beyond imagine that individuals that live in the city do not. And again, this is not me being subjective. This is me being objective based off of my experience and what it is that I am physically seeing. Just as much as we need coaching overhauls, player overhauls, things of that nature, I'm not in a position to say that we need a fan overall, but we definitely need to look into the culture of our fan base. And actually, I'm going to start. I'm gonna start with this. I want to start challenging Buck fans go to away games. Maybe once you all see it and experience it yourself, a lot of what me and others are saying will start to make sense. Actually, you know what? This is what I'm gonna do. Instead of me using Facebook and getting on these rant, using your platform and other platforms and getting on Facebook, to rant, saying the same shit year in, year out. You know what? Let me do something about it. If any Buck fan, look, I travel by myself, I travel alone, I make my own accommodations, I make my own arrangements. I don't make plans with anybody when it comes to away trips. However, if there is a Buck fan who have never been to an away game, please hit me up. Let's coordinate something. I need for you all to see. I need for you all to see what other fan bases, um, um, what, and then I think once you all start to see it and witness it, it really will start to make sense. I think it takes for you to have the experience, because who knows, maybe if I didn't go to the way games, the magnitude of how it, maybe it wouldn't make as much sense to me, but I'm going to challenge Buffett for the ones that I'm talking about, the ones that's in the city, because I know typically the ones that are that don't live in Tampa, they're accustomed, I think, they're accustomed, whatever the traveling or going to a lot of the away games. But I'm talking about the ones that are in the city. I think there's a select few of you all that are either not able to travel or don't travel. I think let's start there. Let's start with maybe possibly going to more away games. Maybe actually, you know what? I want to start interviewing. Let me piece this or whatever together. My thing is, I can get on here and I can do all the ranting, but my thing is, am I really doing something about it? Am I doing enough? Maybe I'm not doing enough. Maybe it's something that I'll take on the responsibility of this. Maybe, it's something that I can do more, for this fan base that I'm not doing. So I'm gonna take on this responsibility. And if others would like to, join me, so be it. But I really truly think that we need a cultural change. I'm not talking about the ones, so the season ticket holders that come to the games. I'm not talking about the ones, whatever that travel. I'm not talking about the ones who coordinate meet and greets and tailgates and things of that nature. This is not for you. However, I challenge you all. Let's figure out a way how we can foster a change amongst the culture of our fan base, because my thing is this whole excuse of, well, Green Bay, they travel, or Pittsburgh, they travel, or certain fan base, or New England. I was so embarrassed by that. They travel. Damn it, we travel too. But my thing is, that can't be an excuse every single time when it comes to us creating a home field advantage in our own stadium. So maybe I ain't doing enough. Maybe maybe I need to step up, and take on more of a responsibility. I need to explore probably what that would look like, but that's gonna be my focus this offseason. Let's get more fans to go to the away games, and let's see how these teams operate, so we can start making sense and us realizing what we need to do in our own stadium. Maybe we just need to start there.
No, I like where your head's at. I think what you said, you can beat a dead horse all you want about culture elsewhere. It's just like, I'll speak on us. Black people, you want to get out your own hood. You can't see how else the world operates. Well, same thing goes to this. You can't see how other people appreciate and look at the game different when you're stuck in a cancerous environment as you are in your own stadium, when you can see how other people are that don't get the opportunity to see their team all the time, how they look at it different. And maybe you can come back and start pasting that on people that maybe are negative based off the way they watch the team. I mean, I like the way you're thinking, because that's the only really way you're going to change it. You got to get other people thinking outside of the box, and the only way you can do that is by experiencing it.
And I think a big piece, a component of that, because here's the thing: as we get older, a lot of the wiser fans, they kind of set, in their own way, they set in their ways. But I think we need to create a culture to where we're fostering in a lot of the younger fans, because my thing is, it's us today, but it's gonna be them tomorrow. So my thing is, we have to be careful of the culture that they are coming into. Because my thing is, they're only going to adapt to what it is that they know, or they're going to only adapt to what it is that they see, So my thing is, I'm even go my nephew shots out the Terrell. He I think Terrell graduated high school maybe 2-3 years ago. Got his little job, so now he's interested in becoming a season ticket holder. And I'm gonna challenge him. I'm gonna take him to a couple of away games. To see how he do this shit. But I think a lot of it, we need to start fostering in this the younger generation of fans. It out of respect, it's certain things that I am not going to to say or to elaborate on. But my thing is, I do feel as though there are a lot of they're stuck in their ways, and they're content with where we at as a fan base. When the culture it needs to change. So here's the thing: if you don't like what I said, do something about it. Because my thing is, your way, what you're doing is not working. It's not working. And a lot of the times, you know what? Maybe it's because I'm saying it. Maybe it would take a couple of other individuals that come to mind that I'm not going to say because I don't want the smoke. I don't want no beef. Maybe it'll take them to have to yell, rant, whatever, for it to start making sense, because we know some people, they're more fixated on egos and narratives, anyway. Me, at the end of the day, I want my team to win, and my thing is, I want Raymond James rocking. Yep. Period. Every game. And here's the thing: if you because I think we see these things, whether people want to admit it or not, we see these things even when Brady was here. Like a lot of people, if they put a better product or whatever on the field, yeah. But my thing is, this was going on even when Brady was here, or even during that prime year. Like my thing is, I shots out to Tom Brady. Tom Brady is responsible for 3 of the best fan years of my life, even with COVID.
Yep.
Shots out the top, but my thing is, this was even going on when Tom Brady was here, and that's facts.
Ain't changed.
And that's facts. Because in 22, Kansas City was deep. Here, when we played them in 2020 and in 21, it was deep.
It was deep.
And I want to say 22, they were deep. Green Bay was deep with COVID. Green Bay, go travel. Dallas, here's the day. Oh, go to my comics about things, because I don't want to take, but I can't remember his name. Somebody pointed out something that was factual. Even the year after we won the Super Bowl, when we played Dallas week 1, his comment was alluding to the fact of how loud it was when the Bucs was on offense.
Oh yeah, because that many Dallas fans were there. I remember that game. Jamal,
this ain't come from me.
Jamal,
this came from.
I've had players, we had drinks together, and they talking about they had to go silent count in your home stadium. Where the hell you do that at?
Yeah.
You got to go silent count in your home stadium because all your fans are at home.
Because it's too hot. Yeah, y'all been living in Tampa. All y'all goddamn life. Y'all should goddamn be used to this doggone heat. My thing is, y'all would prefer this heat than to take y'all ass over in Buffalo in the -degree weather over there. I bet y'all would rather stand up in the heat than to stand up in that doggone cold.
No, thank you.
It was cold in Seattle. And hell, when I went to Seattle, they said that was good weather for them. And I was about to die. I guess when weather in the 30s and the 40s, that's good weather for them. I'll be about to die. In that weather.
I believe it.
Yeah, that was good weather. That was good weather for them. Yeah. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the wrong person to be in this position to speak on this topic. That's fine. I challenge other quote unquote super fans, and I'm not talking about just the ones that dress up, the ones that have some level of some level of influence or power. Y'all speak. I ain't got to be the one. I ain't got to be me. But my thing is, if you all are content with the state of this fan base when it comes to what we produce in that stadium, just how the organization is responsible for their brass, they're responsible for the product that we put out on the field. Granted, they are. That's their responsibility. When it comes to the culture of that this fan base, that's our responsibility, y'all. Yep. That falls on us. That falls on us, and this not me telling y'all what to do with your money, how to spend your money, or and all that. Because here's the thing: the tickets, Buccaneer tickets are cheaper. I can attest to this. I can speak to this. Buccaneer tickets. It'll be actually more cost efficient if you actually just get season tickets. Because if you get season tickets, you paying face value for the ticket. By the time y'all pay for 1 or 2 tickets on Ticketmaster, you already paid what you at least 70-80% of what you already would have paid if you just paid for the ticket face value. The only difference is when you get season tickets, you just got to pay for all the tickets. But you're gonna pay if you become a season ticket holder, you'll pay face value or whatever for
the ticket.
Mm-hmm. Because a lot of you all, but my thing is, hell, even nosebleeds on Ticketmaster was $100 and $150 more. Nosebleeds, where they do that at?
they serving drinks up there. That's the difference.
Yeah, where they do that at? For the ones that are not season ticket holders, I challenge you. Let's become season ticket holders. I know but hey. Let's do this. How about the Buck fans that are not in Tampa? Y'all become season ticket holders because this is what y'all can do. Now we need to start putting thought into this. Even if you don't live in Tampa, if you become a season ticket holder, okay. Well, actually, I got to be careful how I say this. If you become a season ticket holder, then I can be like, okay, well, you can foster, somebody can buy the ticket, whatever from you. But then again, once the ticket leave your hands, you don't control, whatever, who get the ticket or not. So, right. Maybe that might not be, whatever. But this was just me thinking out loud, to try to come to a solution. But hey, let's all put our heads together with this. Let's use this off season. To see what it is that we can do to enhance the culture when it comes to Raymond James. Maybe I need to go to Sulphur Springs and do some interviews in Sulphur Springs, or I might need to go to Soho down in South Tampa, do some interviews there. Maybe I need to swoop down to Sarasota, or actually the Bradenton area. Oh, I ain't gonna get started with them. I got to be careful. I might got to go with the army over there. Maybe we need to start. Let's do that. Let's start conducting interviews with random fans to see what it is that we need to do for them to become season ticket holders or to get them to come to the game. Like maybe we need to go down to the Belmont Heights, or maybe we need to go down to the South St. Pete. I like say they real hood. I like I like hood. I'm sorry. I like hood shit. Like I'm not hood. I was raised in a Christian family. But I think for whatever reason I like hood. I like hole in the wall. I like real shit. So maybe we need to go down the Onico in Bradenton. Newtown in Sarasota. Maybe we need to take a little further back, go down to the Fort Myers, Naples in that area. Naples. Actually, maybe we need to go to Ocala. Whatever it is we need to do, we need to look. The focus in the off season of 2026 is to see what it is we need to do to enhance or change or enhance this culture and get more Buck fans. Because Green Bay coming here.
Yeah.
Steelers
coming here.
Steelers come here next year. Y'all, we need to do something. Don't tell me to sit down. Now, I compromise with you hoes. Oh, I compromise. Fuck that. I compromise with you hoes this year. Now, I will stand up the entire game, but I gave y'all third down on first down, and I'm not sitting down on defense. That's non-negotiable. So my thing is, I'm not compromising with you all in 2026. If I'm in y'all way, they got 2 big jumbotrons. You all can see whatever it is y'all need to see on them. I'm not sitting down in 2026. I'm not compromising with you all in 2026. I'm not doing it. If I got to do that, I'll stay home. I won't go. I'll go to them little 8 or 9 away games Easy. I'm not doing it this year. Blake, I think we on this. I think we need to put something, start interviewing and start maybe
Yeah, we can
start with
work
an
on that.
assessment.
Yeah, we can
In
work
my
on that.
professional realm, don't let this buck shit fool you. In my professional realm, in my business, I get paid good. I get paid good money to assess. So that's assess. So us really truly realize and understand what's going. Let's get to the root cause. I get paid every day to get to the root cause of it, and then we plan from there. Okay, maybe we need to do that. Let's assess from the different fans' perspective. That's gonna be my mission in the off season. That's what we go do, so we can work towards changing this culture. And for y'all the other super fans, look, I ain't talking about the ones that just dress up. You know, the ones. Here's the thing: just how y'all about to go out to Gasparilla this weekend, y'all need to shift that the Raymond James
Yep.
during these games. Now I get credit to do
that.
Now that Orange Eye game, Buck fans a little bit. I would say about 75%. They did what they supposed to do. They did show up in their orange. They had moments. You know, whatever where they got like, but that got to be consistent. It shouldn't be Mike Evan bobbleheads. You know, whatever that get y'all, you know, to come to these games. Like, no, come on, y'all. Like, don't y'all want to win? I want to win. I want to win every single time. And if I have to yell on defense every single time, despite the product, I know it's hard. Trying to yell and scream, and they give up, you know, 3rd and 28. I completely get it. But at the end of the day, y'all, home field advantages, it helps us. It helps us win, believe it or not. So I'm gonna do that. That's gonna be my mission in the offseason. Let's do some interviews. Let's see if we can get creative with this to see if we can work towards, you know, have plant seeds. This is what we can do to change the culture of this fan base, because Rachaad White didn't tell not one single lie. See, the thing is, it stung. It stung some of y'all because y'all know what he's saying, telling the truth. And my thing is, he picked the perfect game too. He picked the perfect game. He ain't put that New England game. He ain't picked that one because, of course, they go travel because I predicted them. I think they might make it to the bowl. This year, but they winning. I love how he pointed out the Jets. I love it was the Jets. Somebody told me not to read too much into what it did. No, he hit it right on the head. Nope, he hit it right on the head. He hit it right on the head. He hit it right on the head. My thing is for this to be one of my best traveling seasons ever. I had the most fun this year ever. 2021 was a good year too. But I had the most fun this year, and not one of them was in Tampa or in that stadium. Not one. Not one.
And they got to work on changing it. And that starts, I guess, with everybody. Until you do something yourself, then ain't nobody else going to do it. Somebody got to do it.
Blake, you gonna come to a few with me next year?
I got you. I'm with you.
And we ain't talking about, and it's not just for you, Blake. We ain't talking about. It's no reason Atlanta, Carolina, and New Orleans. Those off the boat, y'all. Those are not considered away. Though, especially Atlanta. Those look here, y'all. Those trips, those 3 should be non-negotiable. Those are skip. That's a drive. Like my thing, y'all asking drive 6 hours. And them flights can be cheap. If y'all that's get them flight from a flight from Tampa to Atlanta, that's a 45-minute flight at most. Mm-hmm. Those 3, that's non-negotiable. But I know some of y'all gonna take y'all ass to Dallas. Y'all gonna go there. I know what Buck fans gonna go to Dallas. I think we playing Dallas next year. Bring y'all ass to Baltimore. We playing in Baltimore. Bring y'all ass to Baltimore.
405.
I remember it was one year we went to, I think it was 18. I think it was 18, 17 or 18. We went to the bar. It was raining and it was cold. It was one of the worst games I've ever been to in my life. God. Woo! That was one of the worst games I ever been to in my life. Give me Green Bay. I do Green Bay. I do Buffalo all over again. Buffalo, I'll do it all over again before I ever want to experience what I experienced. In Baltimore, I think that was 18. Baltimore 18. Ooh, it was wet. I don't care about it being cold. I can do it, but I can't deal when it's cold and it's wet. Can't do it. Ooh, God, boy, I can't do it. But this year, y'all bring y'all ass to Baltimore. This year, when we play Chicago, I ain't got to go to no other game. I'm going to Chicago. I'm gonna finally knock that stadium off. I got 2 more stadiums to go. I got Chicago and I got Vegas. It was COVID, the 2020 when we played in Vegas. It was COVID. They ain't have no fans, so I got to wait to 2028 to hit up that stadium. But I get to hit up Chicago next year, Lord willing. I'm excited about that one. But y'all, we going to some away games this year because the goal is for Buck fans to see a lot of what the traveler, what we talking about, and see if we can adapt. You know, maybe if y'all see it and y'all experience, then the light bulb will go up. Oh shit! Oh, okay, this is what they talking about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna get some of y'all to go to some of these away games. We gonna start there. We will start there.
We're gonna chat back and forth about that. Man, you said a lot, Jamal. Man, you said hit a lot on the head. We touched everything. Said how we felt. I mean, what's your final thoughts after all of this?
My final thoughts is, look, let's not go into this 2026 season with no preconceived notions. Let's get out our thoughts. Let's get out our feelings. It is what it is. Todd Bowles is our head coach. So focus that energy in on the off season. Let's put that energy or be vocal about them bringing in the necessary players to make the necessary change. We need pass rush. We need to work on that front seven, and we need a tight end on offense. Anything outside of that will be uncivilized. So let's start there. We don't need no how I told you so moments. Going to the 2026 season, let's go in 2026 season with the expectations that we need to win this division. We need a deep playoff run in hopes that will convert into a 3rd Super Bowl. Let's go into the off season, putting our heads together, figure out the way that we can enhance. I don't want to say, but enhance the fan base. All you are that be doing all that yelling on Twitter or X or whatever, and Facebook, all that goddamn ranting and shit that y'all gonna do, swoop that. Come find me and Ray J. Come find me and Ray J. Then come find me and Ray J. I ain't hard to find. So let's shift that energy and bring it on in the Ray J and do what we know, what we capable of, and let's do our part as fans. If you all don't like the product that's being put on the field, then let's be vocal about it in Raymond James Stadium. Let's start there. So my thing is, as we put the pressure on the front office to do whatever it is that they need to do, so we don't experience a second half slide like we did last year, then we need to do our part as well. That's gonna be my focus in the off season. I'm gonna go out in the hoods. I'm gonna go out into businesses of South Tampa. Here, if I even got to go to Treasure Island or whatever, I'll do that. We got to figure this out. Maybe we need to build more of a culture with USF. And get a lot of those students on board with Tim. I think, hey, let's hit up these cars. Let's go to the UM. But I know it's gonna be hard because UM that's in Miami. But let's get some the UM fans, Florida State fans. There ain't no NFL team in Tallahassee. Ain't no NFL team in Gainesville. Let's convert a lot of those students for them to become Buck fans. Let's goddamn go to Brooksville. Let's go to Brooksville. Let's go let's see where they do the memorials on Mondays for the veterans that passed. What's that Aaron Pasco? Is it Bushnell? Let's hit up a lot of these little smaller the cities. We go hit up Ocala. Ocala, they got Leesburg, they got Wearsdale, they got Summerfield. Let's hit up what's with Rob Noble. Rob Noble from that area. The 352 girls. Cassandra, Washiba, all of them from that area. Let hit more of that area. That's where we need. Where else we need to swoop round to? We hit Gainesville. Yeah, we need to figure this out. Let's hit up all these areas. We go hit up Sarasota. They don't say Sarasota. You know, they say Sarasota. Orlando. Oh, no, that's another thing too. Orlando, that dog. It's so many goddamn Buck fans in Orlando. A lot of people are sleeping on Orlando. Orlando, when it comes to Buck, Orlando, that should be their own. Orlando, they so thick in Orlando, that should be their own separate entity. When it come to Buck fan, Orlando, a lot of they don't Orlando, but they don't get enough credit. From me, Orlando is the. I remember even with Pirates, we were talking about doing a whole separate thing because Orlando by itself. Mm-hmm. That swoop down, that's gonna hit up Daytona. Because Daytona ain't got no NFL. I know Daytona, they closer to Jacksonville, but we should be able to get, we should be able to recruit some of them. You got Polk County. We need to do some evaluation. Actually, I'm finna go to all them little sample. I'm gonna go to all them little cities. I need to figure this out. I need to know. We need to change this culture. So anybody in them areas, hit me up. We go do interviews. We go do whatever it is that we need to do to change. And we go swoop all this. We go swoop this into one buck. I mean, Brian Ford. We go figure this out. We need to change this culture. I be goddamn. We not this year. Green Bay, Pittsburgh. We ain't doing that this year. Let's figure this shit out, Buck fans. On the real, that responsibility falls on us. Absolutely. Now, Blake. Now you don't let me rant. Let me come on now. You done let me come on your platform. I done ran it. Just ran my damn mouth.
That's what we said we was gonna do, man. You was free, I was fast. Yeah. Let's do it. Let's run.
I'm finna hit up these cities. So if you in all y'all that's in Polk County, I like to play cards. I like crafts. I like baby shower food. And wash your damn hands, sanitizer. So I'm coming. I come to your city. I need y'all to bring the Buck fans out. That's Orlando, Polk County, Marion County, the Ocala, Gainesville, Brooksville, all that, Sarasota, Bradenton. I don't care if you're in Fort Myers, all of that. I'm coming to your city. I like crabs, fish, baby shower food. And I like to play cards. And I like dominoes. And for you all that want that heat on the spades table, y'all can't fuck with it when it comes over here. Y'all can't fuck with it when it come to here. Now, if y'all want that smoke on the card table, hey, be my guest. And guess what else? And I know how to play Bid Whiz. So my thing is, I'm coming to you. I'm coming. Orlando, we gonna hit Blake. I think that's what we gonna do. That's exactly what we gonna do. We gonna leave Tampa. We gonna bring the party there in certain areas in Tampa. So for the South Tampa, for the Soho, people in Soho, Ebo City, we gonna find a little Palm River. I'm from Palm River. So Palm River, I remember actually Palm River. Y'all remember back in the day we used to do them block parties. Let's do a block party at Palm River Park, and we used to do. And I know because I stayed off of I'm off of Langston. Let me hit up goddamn Tom G. I remember we used to do block parties off of Huge Court. Don't play with the Palm River. Don't get on this man live and play stupid. Mm-hmm. I need all that. So every weekend, every month, something should be going on so we can figure this thing out. I want to have a conversation. Actually, I do want to have a conversation with the wiser Buck fans that was during that double digit. Because my thing is, oh God, I want to get into history. Should I get into this? Because there is a loss. There's a lost timeline when it comes to Buck fans, and then when Dungy got hired, that kind of revived that. I think with Tony Dungy, and then you had the Mike Allstotts, the Warwick Dunn, that kind of revived that. And then when Dungy got fired, it was like, ooh, you know, and then it's really taking them they just haven't been able to make the reconnect, you know. But so it is that culture and that population of Buck fans that was. I think we need to start assessing this, you know, to see when, you know, it really truly things started to fall off, and see if we can repair, you know, a lot of that, and then, you know, get to the place to where, you know, we could put a plan in place on how we gonna move forward, you know. But my thing is, we got to change the culture of this fan base, you know. So my thing, that's where my head at right now. I'm coming to your city or your area. I want a fish fry, boiled peanuts, crab boil, baby shower food, and I want to play cards and dominoes, and I want to and some music. Let's start there. No drama. We just finna enjoy it, have a good time. We ain't fostering no egos. We ain't doing none of that. No drama. If it ain't about how we go out there continue to build this fan base. Look, if I don't fuck, it don't matter. I ain't got to like you. I ain't got to dislike you. We gonna put egos aside. Personal feeling. Put all that shit aside. Let's focus on the fan base. We got a job to do.
That part.
We got a job to do.
We
got a job to do. So there's that.
Jamal, appreciate it. Jumping on here. Love it, man. Love it. We're going to work on that, man. We'll stay in touch. We'll try to work on all that. We'll do this again. I'll stay in touch. And you heard it, everybody right here. Like, subscribe, follow Jamal, hit him up. If you
like, subscribe, follow Blake Anthony. Yeah, Sports Talk49. Fuck me. This who you need to follow. Don't follow. Fuck me. Follow him. Shit. No, don't follow me. Follow him. This where it's at. This where the content at right here. They give it to you raw, give it to you real. Ain't no fake phone and no facade. Don't follow shit. Actually, when you see JayBuc, Jamal say, just look the other way. Don't even follow. This who you need to follow right here. Sports Talk49. On God. For real. So,
well, you heard
but I love y'all. I love my fan base, man. Blake, I appreciate you, dog. Blake, one of the ones that even got me in the game. Like, y'all, you know, I will always have a certain level of respect when it comes to Blake. Always thankful, always grateful for him. Blake can't do no wrong ever in my eyes, you know. So, hey, Blake, I appreciate you, boss man. Like, real talk. Shouts out to James Canada.
Oh yeah, Big James.
My big bro, man. Shout out to James Canada, former Buck player.
Big bro James.
You know. So yeah, man. I done ranted enough. I ain't finna go live. Y'all know I don't like, unless if I'm on Blake platform. But I ain't finna go. I ain't finna do it. But I am coming to your area though. I am coming. Yeah. So set that on up. Set that on up. I'm coming. So
you say there's more coming? Is that what you said?
Oh wait, there's more. Yes, I'm coming. Cause I want to know. I want to know. But Blake, man, I appreciate you, man. Absolutely. Real talk.
We'll talk soon. All right,
yes,
everybody.
Sir. Go Bucks.
You're the master of everything what you do with your life. What you do is entirely up to you. See you guys, and as always, fire those cannons. Peace.